a coach was fired over the weekend in college football. This was never a great fit to begin with. I mean, the guy tried to make up Southern twang when he got there at LSU. I'm just going to say this off the bat. You know where I think Brian Kelly could potentially land, and I actually think it'd be a good fit for him, is your school at the Penn State Nifty Lions, because I think Brian Kelly is more that East Coast guy, tough guy, football guy, where I think James Franklin, weirdly and oddly, actually fits more down at LSU. Southern guy, there's talent right there, doesn't have to go across the country to recruit. LSU's been so far behind in terms of Georgia and Alabama and now Texas A&M and Ole Miss, and now even Vanderbilt.
Well, you mentioned Ole Miss. I'm glad you brought that up because, the Florida job is also open, and
you're right about that too.
The name that keeps popping up for both
Lane
Florida,
Kiffin.
Bingo, Lane Kiffin.
Now, I think he's going to stay at Ole Miss, and I think he should. The weird part about LSU is they won with Ed freaking Ogeron. They won with Les Miles. Brian Kelly came from Notre Dame to LSU because he said, I can't win at Notre Dame. And then Marcus Freeman goes out 2 years later and makes the national championship game. And Notre Dame loses their first 2 games this year and are somehow still ranked and are going to probably make the college football playoff, where Brian Kelly was flat out fired.
Yeah. It was never a good fit. I know they had that win in week 1 against Clemson, but look at how Clemson is now.
Yeah, I mean, no kidding. I'm surprised Dabo Sweeney ain't on the chopping block at Clemson. Listen, I think that this sort of does negate back to Alabama, right? Because earlier this year, remember they had a terrible loss in week 2? I don't remember who that was against, but there was conversations about, Kalen DeVore's not the guy. Should we go out and get Nick Saban again?
We're talking about week 1 when they lost at Florida State.
Oh, you're right. Yep, you're right. And Kalen DeVore's turned it around, and now Alabama's a top 5 team in the country. I think LSU has got to go out. I think they got to go get a football guy that understands the South. And I don't know they necessarily have to swing for the fences on a big name, but if there's a big name out there, I know he was just fired, but I think James Franklin would actually not be a terrible fit. I don't know if he's going to win at LSU because of the competition, but just to steady that ship, because LSU, ever since Brian Kelly was there, in my opinion, has always been overranked.
I can't see James Franklin as a good fit in LSU. If he couldn't win the big games with Penn State in the Big Ten, I can't see him beating the likes of Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't see LSU doing that regardless, unless they hit on a quarterback.
Yeah. Remember all the hype for Garrett Nussmeier?
Yeah. Well, remember the hype for Arch Manning? Again, that's why I told you this. I completely ignore what everybody says about the college football draft about December. We have no idea. Ohio State's schedule this year was originally against number 1 Texas and number 2 Penn State. Guess what? Ohio State currently hasn't faced anybody on their schedule that's currently ranked in the top 20. We don't know anything.
No. And Ohio State doesn't play Indiana this year. Ohio State's not really going to get tested.
Well, they are going to play Indiana in the Big Ten championship game, would be my guess.
Oh, God.
Which will be a big test for Indiana.
Penn State should bring Charlie Weiss out of retirement.
Oh, I completely disagree with that. When's the last time Charlie Weiss coached anything?
Yeah, I don't know. But, I should be hyped and excited about this game on Saturday. Penn State at Ohio State. Nah. Ohio State's going to smash Penn State by like 30. Penn State has lost, I think, 4 in a row. Oregon, UCLA, Iowa, and Northwestern. And now you expect them to go on the road and beat Ohio State? No.
Very interesting times in college football with all these coach firings. I want to wait until we get the official committee rankings, that's when to me the college football season actually starts. That's when the rankings actually matter.
Yeah. The rankings, the first official rankings come out next Tuesday, I believe it is.
I believe you're right on that. It may come out during the show.